Hi, welcome. This is a 60-minute slow stretch, which is basically based around Yin Yoga. So the poses will be held for a few minutes at a time, anything between 1 and 3 minutes. You're obviously always welcome to come out of a posture if you feel any discomfort. But otherwise we'll stay in some very simple but very nurturing postures or poses for the body. And because it's being recorded in December, I wanted to have this theme of the festive season, which is generally or has always traditionally been a very hectic or busy time of year, and it's when everything's coming towards a close to close down and have rest. Not everybody, but obviously a lot of businesses will be gearing up for that rest. And so, and then there's the overconsumption of gifts and food. So what I wanted to do is really honor our body and give it rest in amongst that time that can be very hectic outside. And obviously, yeah, it's been a very full-on year for all of us. So I thought we can really just slow down and take stock of our body, of our breath, and just enjoy every part of it. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the class. If you've got any injuries, always consult a doctor or a yoga teacher before you begin. I'm always available to talk to you if you've got any questions, and if something doesn't feel right, especially in the joints in any of these poses, just come out. You don't have to do everything in yoga. That's why it's so wonderful. It is all about you, and that is what I want to come back to today. So for those of you that have obviously been here before, you can go deeper if you know how to and if you feel able to. Otherwise, yeah, I'll just guide a very gentle and simple class. So if you could come to a cross-legged position, so on your mat, on your knees, you want to bring either the knees together or apart slightly, whatever feels more comfortable for you. And then you're going to sit back into the heels. If that doesn't feel comfortable, if you're really tight and there's no way they're coming down, pop a cushion or a block or something in between, and that might help you get a little bit more release. So the idea of this pose is it's a stretch for the back body, but it's also a release. So we want to connect the forehead to the earth. The arms could be either in front of you with the forearms down, that's available. Or for some of you, you might prefer, if the head is comfortably down, to reach the arms back beside you. So just connect to the floor and connect to your practice. Whenever we step onto the yoga mat, it really is about you. Yoga is such an individual practice, and that is what makes it so special. So when you come onto this mat, you take this opportunity to listen to your body, to do what feels right and to leave what doesn't. So if something doesn't feel right in your body, just leave that posture, leave that moment and come back again. So always honour what feels right. And if you need to go deeper, if you feel you're not getting as much of a stretch, then there's always opportunities there. And I try to offer something for all levels and all ranges of mobility. So once we step onto the mat, we make a connection to not only the ground beneath, so grounding us, also to ourselves, our inner selves, the part of us that is non-judgmental, that is has no desire to achieve or do anything but exist, but be. And it's a very beautiful place to connect to our inner selves, our true selves. So it's from there we can feel or we can find out what it is that we need to receive from this practice. When we slow down, we're really giving our body rest and therefore healing our body. What is it from this practice you would like to receive? Is it more energy? Is it more mobility? Is it just an hour to yourself, for yourself? Whatever yoga or this practice, this hour means to you, hold that within. It's really important to come to our intention every time we step onto our mat. And sometimes it will always be the same. And then it creates an amazing amount of energy around that. Okay, so once we've found our intention, once we've connected to the ground beneath, we want to start to connect to our breath. In yoga, breathing in and out of our nose at all times, unless you feel the need to sigh out the mouth or unless you have a cold. So breathing in through the nose, see if you can expand into the belly as if it were a balloon, pressing against the thighs, and as it does, it expands out to your lower back and your kidneys. Take a deep breath there. And as you exhale, allow everything to soften and let go. Doing that again, inhale, expand into the belly, the ribs, the back. And exhale, let everything soften and let go. One more time, inhale, expand. And exhale, release, soften and let go. We're going to start to think about moving now. So reach the arms forward if they were behind you. As you come up onto the hands, extending the arms away from the floor, so activating from the fingertips, and then slowly lift the head, lift the heart, and find your all fours position, slowly. You want to stack the joints, so the hands underneath shoulders and knees underneath hips. So nice and spread with the fingers. We're going to move through some cat-cow, so a very, very gentle flow. Inhale, drop the belly down and lift the heart and gaze. If the back is sensitive, you won't be able to arch too much. Just be as neutral as you need to feel safe in your body. Now, exhale, round the spine. Press into the hands, look towards the belly. Press up with the shoulder blades, up toward the sky. So this is our cat. Now come back to cow, and we'll think about moving with the breath now. So inhale, we'll go into a cow position, arch only as much as your back will take, and then exhale into cat. Do two more with your breath, so it might be faster or slower than mine. Inhale. And exhale. Full length of each inhalation with the movement and exhalation. Trying to synchronize breath and movement. This is our last cat, so enjoy, press away, and then come back to a neutral spine. Okay, so from here, we're going to do a little, very gentle flow. So you're going to bring your right arm, because we've all got a different range of mobility. My arm doesn't come completely up in line with its shoulder, and that's where it's meant to be. You may be here, or you may be all the way up. Wherever you are is where you're meant to be. And then you're going to reach that arm back, and then down on the exhale. Inhale, reaching it forward and up. Now, if you're really struggling with mobility, you could bend the elbow as you exhale, and that might feel better for your shoulder. Inhale, reach it forward and up. Exhale, it's either straight or bent, whatever feels good. I kind of like bent because it gets a nice movement into the shoulder blade. Do one more. Inhale. And exhale, release. And now from there, we're going to inhale, reach it back up, and then we're going to thread it through. So for thread the needle. So our first holding posture, so come down to where's comfortable. If you're new to yoga and you don't come down onto the shoulder blade, that's very normal. What I would suggest is getting a cushion or block or book or anything you've got and rest on there, just so you've got a little bit of rest for your upper body. Otherwise you'll get tired. If it does get tired for any reason, just come out of the pose. So I'll show you from the screen so you can see. I can't remember if this, yeah, it does, so that's great. So you want your right arm through to the left hand is firmly pressing into the floor and elbow is up to the sky. You want your hips level, so you could either just bring your hand to your sacrum to try and find that length, that alignment, or you could play with feeling it into the knees. If you press into one knee a little bit more, notice that your hip will turn, and do the same on the other side. So you're trying to find both knees equally pressing down. So this is thread the needle. It's a beautiful twist and a shoulder stretch. Some of us it will feel amazing, others it will not. Just breathe wherever you're at. If it's too strong, of course, you can just slide back and release. We're only going to do about a minute on each side because the shoulders can always get a little bit too tired or a little bit too much pressure on them. So yeah, well done. Last few breaths. Wonderful, and then slide back to all fours, taking your time. From all fours, you're going to do the same on the other side, so that arm circle. In fact, if I do it this side, then you can see, you're going to inhale, lift your left arm up. Don't worry about the angle, that's where our shoulders are meant to be. And then from there, you're going to reach it back, either straight or bent. And then down on the exhale. You can follow the gaze. Inhale, reach it forward and up. And exhale, if it feels better, use that bend in the elbow to release it back and down. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale. Last one, inhale. And exhale should feel quite nice along the shoulder blade. Inhale, last one. And this time thread it through to the right. So left arm threads to the right. Bend right elbow so the elbow is reaching up to the sky. If you don't come down comfortably onto the shoulder, then what I suggest is bringing a cushion, a block, or something you can rest on there. Trying to bring both knees pressing into the floor equal to align the hips as much as you can. If there's a little tilt to one side, I wouldn't worry. It's when the tilt is really, really off, then you might lose a lot of the benefits of the pose. It shouldn't cause too much injury, but over time, these things can just bring us out of alignment in our general day-to-day movement or in our standing position. So it's just nice to notice the alignment of the hips in most of our poses and bring them into alignment as much as we can. So again, this side, hold and breathe. If there's pain on the shoulder, on the neck, on the head, just release. Like I said at the beginning, it's really not about holding the poses. It's about making them for you, work for your body. If they don't feel good, let them go and come back at another time, ask a question. But if they feel good and you want to spend longer, just pause it and spend longer. That's also really important to note. And lastly, if you need to go deeper, if you want to add on, I'll try and add some opportunities for that throughout the class. So last few breaths. And then come back by sliding that arm back. You'll find an all fours position. We've got one more pose we're going to hold, and then we'll come up into our one and only standing pose, or kind of half standing pose. This one's puppy. I don't think we've done puppy for a while. We may or may not, but wonderful, wonderful pose. Shoulder stretch as well. Walk the hands forward. Anyone's got shoulder injuries or really tight, real tightness, just come out whenever you feel pain, you'll know. So hands come out to like a 45-degree angle, doesn't really matter the angle. Most importantly, hips have stayed over the knees, so they don't come forward and they don't go back, right? They're right there. And then the idea is to brow the chest down in between that. Some of you will get down, some of you won't. You could use a cushion or a block or lots of cushions if you don't come down. If you do come down, you've got to really, you can come down onto the chin. It turns into a bit of a back bend once you're down. If that's too strong, just release. Otherwise, gaze in between the thumbs and feel that spreading of your shoulder blades apart. I love puppy. I can really feel my inner puppy in this pose. It's very playful, as if you're about to pounce on someone. But anyway, just breathe into the sensations around the spine, around the shoulder blades, around your middle back. They're very strong. If it's okay to stay, stay. We'll be here about a minute as well. See if you can breathe nice and easily. Okay, and then think about coming up and out. Slowly press into the hands, lift your arms away from the floor. It's going to feel very strong, very tight to come out. When you're ready, bring those hands forward. If you need to neutralize in a cat or cow or both, that would be great. And then, not something we come into for very long in Yin, a downward dog. So spread your fingers, tuck your toes, lift your hips. We'll make it a very passive downward dog by bending the knees, pressing your chest to the thighs and looking forward as if you were about to pounce again. And then slowly walking the feet towards the hands. So yeah, in our festive season, we spend a lot of time caring and looking after others and making it about them. If you have children or you have elderly family that you're caring for or really honouring, just make this 1 hour about you and your body. That is something we very rarely do. So from here, we're going to bend the knees and rest the chest on your thighs. It's not always available for everybody to get the chest that low down. Don't worry if you can't. If you can though, see if bending the knees even more helps you get that connection. It just makes it quite strong on the thighs. Now, those that feel comfortable in ragdoll, this is such a nice pose, you can hold your opposite elbows. If you need more support, you would bring your hands down, and that will help just feel a bit more steady and stable, but otherwise holding opposite elbows. The knees are bent, the chest is resting on the thighs, and the head and the neck is completely relaxed. So ragdoll, this is probably the only thing we'll do standing in our Yin pose. So it's a really wonderful pose. It's kind of, I like to think of it as the Yin and Yang. It's kind of the bridge between our Yin and Yang practice. Because if you feel into the legs, they're very contracted. So it's very Yang in the lower part of your body. The contraction in the muscles symbolizes a Yang pose. So yeah, the contraction is there, right? We can't deny it. If the legs weren't contracted, then we would probably fall over.
So here we are with the upper body being our yin part, and it's all so yin. The more you let go, the more yin you get, and then the more the body can get out of this. You wouldn't want to hold it too long, just because your head is below your heart. So for some, you could get dizzy, you could, feel a little bit lightheaded. Just come out if that's you, don't worry, that's very normal. But otherwise hold a little bit longer with your breath, breathing nice and deep. Out one more deep breath here. And then bring your hands down if they won't. Inhale, just straighten the spine, straighten the legs, and then exhale, fold back in. You're going to step back now with both feet and come onto your knees. Thought a nice little heart opening would be a nice thing to do now. This one we're not holding, it's more moving in and out of it. It's very, very simple. If you've got a lower back issue and you don't want to arch, you don't have to. It's more about the shoulder blades. So if you think about heart opening, so the shoulder blades go back and together and the heart comes forward. That could be enough for you. There's no arch here, so it's safe. So we're going to inhale, reach your arms forward and up. And on the exhale, you're going to cactus the arms out, pressing your heart forward. Those that like to back bend can take a little arch in the spine, lower back. Otherwise, just stay here, heart forward, shoulders back. Something for everyone. Then release the arms down. Inhale, reach them forward and up. We'll do it 2 more times. Exhale. So from here, it will look like this. And then last one, inhale. If it feels good, just hang out in this. We can on this third one. So cactus arms, heart forward, shoulders back, gaze forward or gaze up, depending on your neck. And then just breathe into that space you created in your heart center. This is about you. And then release the hands down onto the thighs. Chin touch, shoulders soft, eyes closed, and just tune in. Breathing there. And then if it feels good, I like this kind of shoulder roll where you take one arm at a time and this kind of almost swimming backstroke. Do it a couple of times. You could do both at the same time, but I kind of like this alternating. Get a little bit of a twist at the same time. Great. So now we're going to sit down onto your bum and bring your legs out, but then bring the soles of your feet together and the knees out. If you've got loads of cushions around, you can use them. So you can use them in any which way. You can bring those cushions underneath the knees, just so they don't feel like they're dangling in space. You can bring your hands to the feet and just take a little moment. I love this. It's not yin, but it's just about lengthening the spine. So if you hold the feet, you can really press the feet into the hands and the hands into the feet, and then slowly lift from the crown of your head. And you get this wonderful stretch in all of your body. It feels very active. And then just breathe. We won't stay there too long. As I say, it's more of a yang posture. But then, to find the yin version, if you slide your feet away. Slide your feet away so that there's symmetry in between the legs, so it becomes a diamond shape. And then the hands just come over the feet. Inhale, sit nice and tall.
And exhale, just bend the elbows out to the side, but without any force. So, oh, these cushions are beautifully placed for them to rest there. And then you can lengthen and then release. So the forehead is coming down to the feet, but without a pull. So I'm not pulling myself forward, it's all gravity. And if your head gets tired, because we are going to hold this one a little bit longer than we've been holding poses, for 2-ish minutes. When I say ish, it's because I'm counting in my head roughly. You could use a cushion like that. So lots and lots of things you can do with cushions if you've got them, which makes it just slightly more restful. If the head is resting in this, you get much more out of the pose, right? So you do what's right. You can also sit on a cushion. And the way I count my breath, the way I count minutes, is using my breath. So I don't know if I've said this before, but if you count it, depending how slow your breath is, 8 really slow breaths, it's supposed to be about half a minute, so 30 seconds. It really does depend on your breath, but if you do a nice slow breath, so therefore 15 long breaths is a minute. So yeah, that's usually my my formula, which I learnt once and tested, and I was quite amazed that it worked. So that's useful for you if you have a home practice and you want to be in some poses maybe equally on each side, or you just want to try and stay in poses for longer. That's the way to do it, because you don't need to look at your clock, you don't need distraction, just the breath as a guide. And as I say, it's a guide. I reckon we're about there. One more deep breath. And then when you're ready to come out, lift the head and the heart slowly, maybe press the hands into the feet to lift you. And then cut the hands over the knees and draw them together. And just give yourself a hug, so bringing the knees in. Give yourself a hug, either shins or thighs. One feels nicer, so usually find that one that feels really good, like a hug of your own body, and just bow the head to the knees and breathe there. It's kind of called a rebound in Yin. So I'll just take that opportunity to find the time. Okay, so it's on there. Yay! All right, awesome. So the next thing I want to do is to bring us down onto the floor to work a back bend. So back bends are not everyone's favourite, but the reason we're going to do them is because they're energizing. So great if you're practicing this in the morning, but also they're a heart opener, which is always good for our body and our soul. Bring the hands under the shoulders, but then bring the shoulders beyond. And then slowly find your way onto your belly. For our Yin poses or back bends, we always bring the feet a little bit wider, makes it a bit safer in your lower back. And then you bring your elbows underneath shoulders, forearms parallel. Your middle finger is facing forward. That's always a good guide. And down dog and all our plank, all those poses. Middle finger facing forward. Spread your fingers. Press your heart forward and your shoulders back. So it's an arch into your lower spine. I should have said, sorry, if anyone wants less, if
if you know your back is sensitive and today it really doesn't want a back bend, you can either not do it at all, which is one option, or go into a very gentle version by sliding the elbows much far forward and bring the palms together. And then you choose how much you go into a back bend. As you can see, it's very subtle here. If you want a little bit more, you slide it forward, but the same action is there, heart forward, shoulders back, right? So you're using strength then to protect your lower back, so it's important. Okay, otherwise we're in Sphinx, but I know some of you will love a stronger back bend. If you know your back is safe to do that, then great, go for it. And that would be our seal. Seal is kind of a mixture between upward dog and cobra because it's about straightening the arms to a degree. There's still a little bend. And that bend is very important to prevent locking of the joints or going beyond. So yeah, heart forward, shoulders back. You lift the forearms away from the floor, but keeping a bend. And this is seal. Whichever one you're in, the lower version, the in-between, or here, just breathe in and out. If it's ever too much, go back out. If it's too little, go a little bit further forward. So you can moderate how far you go. And well done. Lower down onto the forearms. If you took seal, bring the elbows out to the side. Now bring the big toes to touch. Heels fall out to the side. As you make a pillow, you can choose to bring the forehead down or rest onto a cheek as you look to one side. And then breathe there. Because it's very important after a back bend to do a twist. We're going to do a twist in a moment, which is, I found when I first did it, I found it such a intuitive or beautiful way to bring us into it. So if there's any pain in the back because it's a strong twist, just come out the way you went in. So to come into it, if you bring your right knee up towards your right elbow as much as you can, and then you slide the left hand through, so opposite hand through to meet that right knee. Then you sweep that right arm overhead and you roll onto your back. Doesn't that feel lovely? Feels so good to come into it this way. But notice, if the knee's down, the shoulder won't come down, which is absolutely okay. But if you need to have more stability for your shoulders, if you have sensitive shoulders, I would then lift the knee off the floor and press the shoulder down. So it's up to you. And you're in this kind of lovely spinal twist. So the work is on the right side. You get this open space. Can you breathe there into that space? For this one, I always gaze up. You could gaze to your right, but my neck always prefers to gaze up in this stronger twist in the body. Spinal twists are usually the place that you could feel your body staying in forever. I don't know about you, but I could stay in forever. But we'll just take a few more breaths before we go over to the other side. As I say, we always come out the way you went in. So you're going to sweep that right arm all the way back, and as you do, come back onto the belly. You're going to slide that left arm out, sliding the right leg back, and then go, you can come into this, I think you can also come in from this kind of Sphinx variation, so the forearms are on the floor, then thread your right arm towards the left knee. Coming onto the shoulder, sweeping left arm up, and then back in line with its shoulder blade. As I say, if your knee's down, your shoulder might be up. I think I always find shoulder down more supportive for the body, so let that knee come up. But you might prefer the other way. Just make sure it feels safe and a place you could be in for about a couple of minutes. And then close your eyes wherever you are and breathe. Enjoy the rest that comes with a spinal twist. Slowing down the breath, slowing down the mind. Think about coming out by sliding left arm overhead and then slowly rolling onto the belly, sweeping that left leg back, right arm through, make your crocodile. Big toes touch, heels to the side. If you took a cheek last time, take the opposite side. Let go. Okay, and then coming up very slowly to find yourself into your seated position. So from seated, we're going to do a straddle. I think this pose is incredibly important because it takes our body into a pose it's not used to, or a movement it's not used to. So that's, extending, abduction of the legs. So if you take them out, flex the feet so they're up. No, we're in yin. Don't flex the feet. Relax your feet. So normally we would flex them. Relax them. Bring your fingertips behind you if you feel like you need the support. You'll know. Some of you also know that you need to put a block underneath the hips, or sorry, the bum, just to lift you a little bit, to make it a little bit easier. But also the other thing is, if you're with a bend in the knees, that's normal and that's okay for your body. Just pop a cushion underneath, yeah? So for some extra support. So those that need the support, have the hands behind you, or those that want to go a little deeper, bring the hands forward and slide the arms forward and come down. Now again, cushions could be used here.
to rest the head. You could stack them up, or if you've got these kind of long cushions, I wonder how good they'd be good at. Bolsters, yoga bolsters are amazing. They're really expensive, but they are amazing because they are quite sturdy. So when you stack it up, you can rest the head. This one's obviously a bit squishy, but for me it's okay. You might just need a stack of them, but it's all just about playing. You don't even need the support. You could just hold these poses without it. It's just nice for the head to feel like it's got something to rest on. As you will all feel, here's the stretch in between the thigh, the groin, and coming out along the inner line of the legs. And just breathe. Send your mind's attention to where you feel this. So it's a very strong sensation, isolated to mainly one area. You might get it in the back as well if you're folding forward, but mainly on the inner thighs and groin. So it's somewhere you can send your mind's eye, your attention, your awareness, and just be in that sensation. What does it feel like? Where does it start? Where does it finish? What does it feel like? Can you just breathe into it? Does that soothe it? Does it aggravate it? Does it get easier over time? Does it melt away when you focus more on the breath? Really just exploring all of it within your awareness, your beautiful body and its movements, and its ability to make these movements are amazing. Okay, we're going to come up and out. So lifting the head and slowly the heart, and come back up. Walk yourself up. Remove any cushions. The next one will be a side stretch. So our really nice but very strong stretch into our side body. What we want to do is feel as far into this area, just under your floating rib, just in there, right deep in there is our quadratus lumborum, and that's where we want to stretch. So it will feel strong, but it's very healing to do so. It connects to our lower back. It's what makes us feel lower back pain a lot of the time, so the tightness of it. So bring your left hand anywhere along, left arm anywhere along that right leg. And then take your right hand to your right hip. Great. And then look out towards the left and hold there before you prepare to go up. Now, some of us will be able to go further into these poses. Go in as far as feels safe for your body. You're going to reach over towards your right side. Maybe that right elbow can come down onto the floor. Now, this already is a stretch. Stay there. If you can go further, you would reach as if you were going to grab your right foot with your left hand. Always make sure there's space for your head to look up. So the arm is never coming in over in front of your face. So even if it helps, put a bend into that elbow and reach that left arm overhead. Some of you will get tired in the arms. You could even take a deep bend and rest the forearm along the head. So yeah, there's something for everyone here. But all of us will get the stretch in here where we want to. The quadratus lumborum is beautiful. or very, very deep muscle. It's very hard to stretch. So yeah, really, it's good to stay here at least a minute and a half if you can. If the neck feels tired, look down. Again, first just bring your attention to the feeling, the sensation in your body. And then notice your breath. As you deepen that breath, does it make the stretch feel easier? Does it take awareness from the stretch a little? And then to come out the way you went in. So extend the arm and then slowly rise. I always like to take a little twist. So you can take the right hand across to the left side, left hand behind, sit tall and then look to your left. Cool, and then release the spine, straighten your right leg and flex your left knee, bring your left foot into the point. Bring your left hand anywhere on the inside of that left leg and right hand to your right hip. Turning to your right, prepare, and then lifting right arm up. We'll all lean over, but to what amount is your body, right? So you could be here, you could just be here, you could look up, forward, down, you can change the neck position at any time. So make this pose your own. This is you, your body. And that's what's amazing about yoga. It's what I first fell in love with yoga, because I was never a very competitive person, so I was rubbish at sport. I wasn't really interested in winning, maybe because I was rubbish. But when I found yoga, I was like, wow, this is amazing. This is about my body and nothing else. It's about feeding my body with energy and love and appreciation for all of the micro movements it makes to the macro movements. Every single part of the body was just amazing to discover through the yoga practice, but it wasn't about making it look the same as someone else. It was about making it look right for you. And yeah, so that's what's amazing to discover. It takes years to maybe get to that point. I think in the beginning of a yoga practice, it can always be a little bit about trying to make it look right, whereas there is no right for each other or ourselves. So enjoy discovering yoga for, yeah, the beautiful aspects, the breath, the movement, and all that's in between. Let's come out by lifting that right arm up and slowly coming out. It's a lovely kind of feeling as you release that stretch, right? Then bring right hand behind and left hand across, sit tall, and then look to your right. And then slowly release. I need to check the time again, but if you could just bring your knees in and take that hug. So hug your shins or hug your thighs and just bow your head down toward the knees. Okay, yeah, I thought so. Yin Yoga is so much slower that the time goes really fast. So we're going to come down for the last little bit. We didn't get pigeon, but we'll do pigeon on our back nicely. So knees bent, chin tucked, roll down. If you want to use your core, you can come down, even through boat, whatever, and then meet us on your back. Hugging your shins again, just like you were doing seated, rocking from side to side. And then bring your both feet to the floor, and then right ankle above left knee. Flex the right foot, and bring your left foot off the floor and hug the thigh. Especially in yin, that's probably better, but those that can comfortably hug the shin and keep all parts of your body resting on the floor, great. You can
you can of course take that version as well, but otherwise just hug the left thigh. Bring the left leg into you as you press your right knee away. And this is our pigeon stretch, so you should feel it on your right outer hip and glute. From here, it looks like this. So you're pressing that right knee away into a right angle, or if you think about it, the letter 4. And you could lift that left leg to make that letter 4. And just breathe here. Okay, and then from here, we're going to think about releasing. So left foot down first, and then right foot down slowly and gently. Left side, left ankle above right knee, flex left foot. Pick up right foot off the floor and hug right thigh or shin. If you like that letter 4 version, I don't feel like it adds anything to the bows. I think it just gets extension through that leg. So you get a stretch, perhaps a little, but not very much. And then just hug that right thigh in and press left knee away. The stretch really is about here, this left outer hip and glute. So yeah, anything in between is just bonus. Breathe there. And then to release, the right knee bends and then grounds, and the left foot grounds down as well. Our final pose together will be happy baby. Flexing the feet, bending the knees, bringing that right angle with the right leg, and then press down with the knees towards the floor. And then really enjoy that feeling into all parts of the hips. Some of you won't be able to reach the feet, in which case take the outsides of the legs and have the same action. So right shins in a right angle, knees pressing down towards the floor, towards the armpits, and yeah, back and neck and head pressing into the floor as well. Some of you like to stay still, and others may wish to use a massaging technique, rocking from side to side. You might like to switch between the two. So just take your last few breaths in your happy baby. And then it's really time to come down and rest in Shavasana. So if you can make sure you're comfy and warm, 2 most important things. So if you need a blanket to cover over your body, if it's in, if you're feeling a little cold, or you do when the temperature drops as you lie down. You can lie down with the legs and the arms straight in corpse pose, Shavasana, or you could bend the knees and have them resting together for TP. And then once you've found the position that feels good, drop into that position. Relax and release all muscles down into the earth. Make sure that the facial muscles are completely relaxed. So our beginning and end are very similar, feeling the connection first with the ground. So first we want to ground. It's a feeling of connection with the earth,
or the land we walk upon. And that is a wonderful connection to have, feeling very humble and as if we can treat this earth and land as sacred as it is. The beautiful organisms that live beneath our feet are so incredibly important to sustaining life. So feeling that connection and gratitude to everything beneath our feet. And once we've grounded, we come back to the body. So the physical body, your wonderful, wonderful body that treats you so well. So feeling appreciation for every muscle, every tissue, every cell. And then we come back to our intention, so what we wanted to receive for ourselves. Why we come back to this practice every time. What is it that you gain each and every time? Is it more energy, more space, more quiet? Holding that within, feeling gratitude for giving that to yourself as a gift. We must always give to ourselves first. And practices like yoga, meditation, mindfulness are exactly what we need to give to feel whole. And now we'll connect to the breath, but this time, unlike the beginning, we relax the breath, so there's no control, no force, it's just natural. There's the gentle rise and fall of the body as it fills up and then releases as it lets go. So imagine as you're filling up, we're receiving that life, that energy, whatever it is you need to receive. And then as you exhale, we're letting go of what doesn't serve us, what's dead and needs to be released out. And that's the cycle. It's continuously running. And then we'll just spend another moment here before we come out, just preparing. So feel the physical body once again. Feel the weight and heaviness and strength of your body. And then start to deepen the breath. So you make a balloon with your belly. And then release, maybe sigh out. Doing that again 2 more times. Inhale, expand the belly like a balloon. And exhale. Last one. And then move your fingers and toes to awaken the body. Feet together, arms overhead, have a full body stretch. Bend those knees, bring them in and give yourself a hug. Squeeze, maybe head up towards your knees and feel that connection with your body. And then roll onto your right side, that side of rest, for a breath or two. And then come up when you're ready. Seated position or any other that works for you. And when you found that seat, bring your hands together to prayer, Anjali Mudra, prayer position. Press the hands together, feel energy between the hands, sit tall, and then bow down, Namaste. Inhale, lift the head, rub your hands, and then cut them over your eyes and breathe in. Open the eyes into the hands and then release the hands down when you're ready. So thank you all for joining that class. Any feedback, let me know if you've got any questions. Otherwise, have an amazing Christmas or festive season and lots of love. Bye.